in the garden with April. Welcome to the Chandler Community Education Garden at Veterans Oasis Park. And today we're talking about seed harvesting. It's an important time of year at the end of spring, beginning of summer, because a lot of your plants are probably going to seed if you're letting them. We want to start harvesting those seeds and getting ready for our fall. And there are a lot of questions I hear about how do I get the seeds, how do I store the seeds, if I have too many seeds. So hopefully we can answer a few of those questions or get you started on your journey with seed collecting. So a few of the things we want to talk about is where the seeds come from. They can come from various places on the plant, whether it be from pods or petals of flowers or from the pits like of peaches. And like many things in our garden, when you see it go to flower, as they call it, you can expect that there may be some seeds coming soon after. Today I actually picked some of my dill. As you can see, these aren't quite ready. There was flowers before and they started to turn to seed. And now you can see these have a ton of seed. Whenever we get to the end of our winter garden or our spring or summer garden and things are going to seed, sometimes we have a habit of just ripping everything out. And we do want to do most of that to keep the pests at bay, because unhealthy plants will breed your pests. But if you have some great plants that you want to collect seeds from, keep those better plants, one or two of each, so you can have some wonderful seeds to plant the next season. There's so many ways to get your seeds. With my dill, I actually use this colander. I actually buy these at the dollar store really cheap because I use them to cover plants. I use them for this kind of thing. So if I go like this, all my seeds are coming off in there. I have a bowl underneath to catch them. Or you can just, these are really, really ready. You can just kind of take them off with your fingers. Another way is to use paper bags, sometimes especially if it's the flower type like our dill. You can actually just shake the paper bag and have your seeds fall off into the bottom of it. And paper bags are great because they allow the seeds to breathe and dry out at the same time. I like using these little wine bags for your longer stalks that you need to put in there. A few other things that have seeds are your peppers and your tomatoes. And there's two ways you can do peppers or tomatoes. You can actually let the pepper or the tomato dry out, and you can kind of pick through and get the seeds off after they've dried on there. Or you can take a really ripe one, go ahead and open it up. I use a little metal strainer and get some of that goo off, and then place them on wax paper. Put them in a place where it's not going to get wind and your wax paper won't go flying. So there's different methods there. Now back to harvesting some of them. Last week here at the Chandler Education Garden, we were surprised to see a lot of pods on our asparagus plants, so we were real excited about that. So these were turning color. We picked the plant and picked the seeds, and we let them dry out so that we could easily crack them open. You want to make sure your seeds are ready before you harvest them off the plant. A few other things you can collect. This is actually Arizona milkweed, and they are in pods, and you see all the fluff in there. And of course that fluff is what helps carry them around the world so they can be deposited elsewhere. We have what's called a milkweed vine. They're starting to go to their pods. This was a really big pod, and it started to crack open a little bit, and just in a few days it finished drying out and cracking open, and look at all those fabulous seeds. We normally pick all of our radishes, but we missed a few and it went to seed, and I have never actually seen radish go to seed, so I was excited to see this, and we'll show you here what we have for radishes. Look at these. The radishes are kind of old. They were from our winter garden, and we have all these fabulous pods to get seeds from, so we can have more seeds for our garden again. Now, one of my favorite things to see in the springtime is all of the beautiful flowers on the side of the road, like the desert lupin. Another one of my favorites is the globe mallow, the orange flowers that you see in the springtime everywhere, and I wanted to harvest some of that as well. The flowers themselves contain the seeds on the inside. And when you break it open, all those seeds are there, and that's how they go along in the wind. As you can see, it's breezy today, so that's how they get everywhere. So I picked some of those so I can have some next season. So we also want to talk a little bit about storage, and I like to use these paper envelopes. They're little coin envelopes. Some people might need bigger envelopes. You can use just regular envelopes as well. These make great seed envelopes. I've been given some seeds that are in plastic baggies. I think that it is a little better to store in the paper where your seeds can breathe naturally, but to each his own. And also for storage, people want to figure out how to organize their seeds. I had a notebook at home and I put this on there, kind of cute. And then I bought some baseball card inserts, or you can get photo inserts so that they can hold all of your seed packages. And then I have dividers with my winter garden seeds, my summer and spring garden seeds, flower seeds, and tree seeds. So however you wish to organize, take a look on the internet. A lot of people have some great ideas. You want to keep your seeds in a nice cool and dry place so that they don't get a lot of moisture, which we don't have too much of a problem here in the desert, but sometimes indoors we do get a little bit more humidity, so keep those nice and dry. A great resource are seed exchanges and libraries. There is a great East Valley Seed Exchange at the Sunset Library. It happens usually twice a year in the spring and the fall, and that's a great resource for getting rid of some of your excess seeds and getting more seeds from other people of different varieties. What's great about local seed swaps is usually those seeds have been grown on plants locally, which means they're plants that have been grown in the desert here, whether it be winter, spring, or fall, or summer, which is very important. A lot of times we see plants and seeds that come from out of state, like up north somewhere, and those really aren't acclimated to our environment. Many of your local libraries have seeds that you can go in and get for free. I do know that the County of Maricopa started a native seed library, so if you're looking for native seeds that are drought tolerant for your landscaping, they have some great resources at some of their libraries for getting some native seeds. There's also this great group in Arizona called the Little Free Garden Stand of Arizona, and you can find it on social media. You've heard about the libraries, the little free libraries. People have started doing that with plants and seeds. So they put these little stands out in front of their home, and you can come take some seeds or cuttings or materials and leave some seeds and cuttings and materials. And what's great about that is you, again, are getting seeds that have been grown locally in our environment, and they're desert worthy. Last count, there was about 98 of them. Take a look on social media to find the Little Free Garden Stands. Well, I hope you learned some great tips and information about seed harvesting and how you can help keep the seeds going in our world. If you'd like more information about gardening or how you can volunteer here in our garden, contact the Environmental Education Center or check out Break Time for more details.